Clutter doesn't just take up space, it takes your time and your energy and your peace of mind.
You're listening to Overwhelmed Working Woman, the podcast that helps you be more calm and more productive by doing less. I'm your host, Michelle Gauthier, a former overwhelmed working woman and current life coach. On this show, we unpack the stress and pressure that today's working woman experiences. And in each episode, you'll get a strategy to bring more calm, ease, and relaxation to your life.
Hey friend, welcome to day 1 of the Declutter Challenge. I'm so glad you're here. Over the next 5 days, we're going to clear clutter from your space, your schedule, your digital life, and even your brain. Taking little steps every day so you can feel lighter and calmer and more in control. And I just think it's fun that a bunch of people have signed up. And if you haven't yet, you still have time to do that because then you know you're doing it alongside all of the internet people who are also listening to this podcast. When you listen today, you'll learn why clutter is a problem. I know there's some real obvious reasons, but I'm going to tell you more about that. I'm going to ask you a few questions to consider for your intention for the decluttering for this week. And I'm going to explain how to do a micro-declutter. Doesn't calling it that make it sound so cute and fun? Like, oh, just a little micro-declutter. If you have not officially joined the challenge, you can still do it. The link is in the show notes, and when you join, you'll get automatic access to a beautiful workbook with each day's summary and journal questions and the instructions for what to do for that day. You'll get a link to submit questions and wins to me, so you can either submit them via email or via a voice note. I'm going to be sharing some of those on the podcast. Every time you reply back with a question or a win, you get entered to win a prize. I have some really great prizes, including a label maker, which I had to get for myself, just to test it out. And I've been labeling everything. My kids might or might not appreciate that. I'm also giving away a coaching session with me and a Sunday basket. If you don't know what the Sunday basket is, there's an episode on that. It's a system used for organizing paperwork, etc. And I had the woman who invented it and owns the company on, and it was a great episode. So you can go back and listen to that if you want to. But if you want to win that, do the Declutter Challenge. Okay, so let's talk about why clutter is a problem. So I think it's a problem, just the stuff. Like if you think about stuff on the floor or piles on the counter, that's just annoying and it's inefficient to have stuff everywhere. But also if you think about the impacts, like the trickle down effects of clutter, for example, if you have a messy closet, it makes your mornings way more stressful. You probably have clothes in there that don't fit you anymore or that are out of style and you wouldn't wear anymore. And it takes way longer to get dressed than it should. And walking into a messy closet, at least it makes me feel like my whole life is out of control. Or think about when your inbox is super full. It just automatically gives you that feeling of being behind. Or an overflowing calendar. When I used to look at mine when I had my corporate job and I'd be like triple booked during some of the hours, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm trapped. I don't know what I can do with this. And all of that gives you a cluttered mind, which probably makes you feel anxious and or overwhelmed and or stressed. So clutter doesn't just take up space, it takes your time and your energy and your peace of mind. And on this podcast, we are all about creating easy ways to feel less overwhelmed and less stress. And so decluttering is one of those ways. I don't want it to be like a huge home makeover. If you get inspired to do that by doing this declutter challenge, that's great. But this week is really just about taking small, doable actions that create space and relief physically and mentally. And by the end of the week, you'll have some real wins, even if the wins are small, and momentum, and you can make a great plan to keep going on that. One thing I recommend that you do is reach out to a friend and see if a friend wants to do this challenge with you, or maybe you know a friend who has already signed up with this, and help hold each other accountable. It's so much more fun to do things like this with a friend. So let's dig in with today's specific topic. The question that I want you to ask yourself, and if you've got the workbook, this is in your workbook, and then there are several more additional questions in there to consider. But what I want you to think about today is, where does clutter feel the heaviest in your life right now? Is it in your home? Is it in your inbox? Is it in your calendar? Is it your mind? If it is in your house, where is it specifically? I don't know about you, but I can literally feel clutter. Like I'm sitting in my office right now and I can close my eyes and I can picture the spots in my house that feel cluttered to me. There's that hallway closet. There is the basement storage room, which by the way, I just cleaned out last winter, but it somehow has stuff back in it again. And I can literally feel the pressure of that clutter. And those are both in places that I rarely look and don't need to go too often. So when you think about where in your life is there clutter that's weighing on your mind, jot that down and think about what the effect is of that clutter. Just one small example for me, I do a lot of interviews for the podcast and I sometimes do them far in advance of when they actually are out. So I just had a bunch of interviews on my computer, backed up, but on my computer. And I didn't know when they were supposed to be scheduled. And I need to do some work before I can send them over to Carrie to do editing. So I just spent about an hour and I scheduled all of them and I put them on our podcast calendar. And I noted where I still need to record an intro or where it was done. And I just felt so much better knowing that they were all reviewed and taken care of. So just think about that for you. Could be something in your house, could be something digital like I just talked about. And then consider also how that clutter makes you feel today and how you'd like to feel by the end of this week. All right, today's action, I think this is a fun one, the cute little micro declutter. So let's get into your first win. Today, I want you to spend like 5 or 10 minutes clearing one tiny area. Don't overthink it. Here's some ideas just to get you started. You could do your wallet, your bathroom counter, your car cup holders or your glove box, the top of your nightstand, the door of your refrigerator where all the expired sauces live if you are in my house, one pocket of your backpack or your work bag, the top of your desk, your phone's home screen, a junk drawer, your makeup bag. You get the idea. Just pick one of those areas, set a timer for 5 minutes. And if you're not finished after 5 minutes and you want to do 5 more, amazing. And just go for it. So remember, the steps for decluttering are always the same. It's take everything out, sort them into piles of keep, give away, throw away, or recycle. Give away the giveaways, throw away the throwaways, and neatly put the rest back into wherever you took them out of in the first place. After you finish, just notice how you feel. What I notice is, let's just say I clean out my purse, which I actually need to do. Maybe that will be my micro declutter for the day. But when I do, I find myself looking in it all the time. Or if I clean out a cabinet, I'll just like open it and look in there and be impressed with myself. So how does it make you feel when you've done just that one small declutter? And are there other people in your house who could do a small declutter too? Kids actually thrive in organized environments, even though my kids always resist it. When they do it, they feel so much better. Okay, now don't forget, I want to hear from you. So you can either reply to the daily email you get from me. If you've signed up for the challenge, you will have gotten an email from me this morning and you're going to get one every morning. So you can reply back and you can tell me any of the answers that I asked today. Where is the clutter feeling so heavy for you? How does it make you feel? How do you want to feel by the end of the week? You can show me a win. I love when people send me pictures of your decluttered wallet or fridge door or junk drawer or whatever you clean out. You can just tell me about your win, any of those things. If you send me a message, a voice memo, there's a chance that I'm going to share it on the podcast tomorrow. So if you want to get a shout out for your wins, or if you have a question that you think other people might also want the answer to, which is probably the case. If you have a question, somebody else probably does too. So be sure to send me a message. And when you do, you'll be entered to win one of our prizes. All right, that's it for day one. Enjoy your micro declutter and get ready for tomorrow when we talk about simplifying a slightly bigger space in your home.
Thank you for listening to the Overwhelmed Working Woman podcast. If you want to learn more about my work, head over to my website at michellegothier.com. See you next week.